let me introduce myself. I'm one of the program directors of ROEF Academy, together with Miguel Lopez de Silanes, who will be speaking, but also Sarah Hamilton and Mindy Early will be speaking today. I can see the screen well. I hope everybody can see the screen well as we're talking about this now. Well, I'd like to welcome everybody. I have actually seen quite a number of familiar faces and some new people, as I was saying, from all around the world. And thank you very much for taking the time to be here today, either in the morning, in the middle of the night, or in the afternoon, if you're from Europe. And we really appreciate your interest in this unique next-gen development program. To go forward, we will have a short presentation and two videos. After this, we have plenty of time for Q&A. But if you want to ask a question, you can either raise your hand during the presentation, during our initial section, the introduction. You could also use the chat function of this Teams call and write or type your question. Our colleague Carol will be monitoring the chat function, so we will make sure that we will not oversee your question. And then, of course, at the end there is plenty of time to ask some questions. Miguel, could you move to the next slide, please? Well, today you will hear more about the Responsible Ownership Program for Enterprise Families, and we will share more detail and leave enough time for questions. Feel free to engage. But we want to kick off with a short video that a few of you might have seen. It is on our website.
Fox is at the forefront of enterprise thinking, and for the past 30 years, a part of our mission has been to educate owners. In March of 2023, Fox will be co-sponsoring a learning academy in Amsterdam called Responsible Ownership for Enterprise Families. The Academy is a unique development program for 25 to 40-year-olds to help them understand the enterprise design and possible roles in the enterprise. The ROEF Academy is designed to help attendees make decisions about what role they want to play in the enterprise.
We have learned it is complex for enterprise families to be successful for multiple generations. At VU University Center for Enterprise Family Research, we studied 200 enterprise families on 5 continents around the globe, some going back to the 1700s. How is it that some enterprise families are more successful than other enterprise families? We know for a fact that the next generation enterprise family members want to engage with running the family enterprise. It is important to equip them with knowledge, skills and connections to be successful. At VU University Amsterdam School of Business and Economics, together with Family Office Exchange, we established ROEF Academy. Rising generation enterprise families gain access to the brightest minds in the field.
The Academy is an in-depth 2-year program. It consists of 6 modules, 3 every year, lasting for 2.5 days and taking place in March, June, and November of each year.
Some learning experiences include family enterprise, ownership, power and governance, the family behind the enterprise, entrepreneurship and longevity, wealth preservation, and succession. In addition to classes, there will be case studies, project work, simulations, and assessments.
One of the most relevant value-added features of the program is that participants will be joined by an intimate group of peers from around the world, thus creating a global network of support and collaboration. One of Fox's values is making connections, and Fox has the most advanced peer network of its kind in the world. The Academy will help develop your expertise and expand your network.
Upon completion, all participants receive a certificate from VU Amsterdam University School of Business and Economics for the program Responsible Ownership for Enterprise Families.
Come learn with us, connect with your peers, and empower yourself to make a difference. Apply now to join us in Amsterdam in March of 2023.
Well, this program is designed making use of the expertise and the experience of a number of the foremost thought leaders in the world. But next slide, please, Miguel. I'd like to touch upon the reason why we designed this program, because as many of you know, there are other programs out there as well. I should start with VU Amsterdam Center for Enterprise Family Research. This is the research center that has been founded at VU University School of Business and Economics, and it researches the failure and successes of transgenerational enterprise family. Basically, it tries to figure out why is it some families are successful and why, which is the minority, and why so many fail to be successful for multiple generations together as a family, holding on to the enterprise. And what's also shown is that the problems and the barriers that are responsible for the failure of these situations point towards an unprepared next generation. And I've shared most recently some research that 85% of next generation family members think they are prepared. However, 61% of those family members seem to be prepared. So what do programs do out there? Well, most programs are focused on leadership, the business, and on money. But what our research has shown, that responsible shared ownership is more than just the family business. It's also about the family office. It's about the family foundation. It's about a whole lot of other things. It's about non-financial considerations, communication, conflict resolution, and about skills. So at ROEF, so at the Responsible Ownership for Enterprise Family Program, we come together as Family Office Exchange and the VU. We have a faculty with hands-on experience, and we focus on knowledge, skills, and connections, which we will dive into a little bit later. Miguel, next slide, please. Because what's happened, this is a family, it's probably the foremost family globally on philanthropy and impact. Also, they have been big capitalist family over the decades, but this is a family with 7th generation of history, and a family we have been working with, I personally have been working with for 2 decades. What was really nice of David Rockefeller stating that if he would have known the information that we have shared with him through our research, that they would have had the secret sauce and it would have been much easier. So that's why he decided to endorse our program. Next slide, please, Miguel. Because what we're doing is we designed the ROEF program to be part of the development journey of rising generation family members. And module 1 talks very much about the enterprise family as a family that is sharing ownership of multiple assets and multiple entities across multiple generations. And these families have a major impact in our society. They contribute immensely, considerably to global economic growth, employment, philanthropic capital, startup finance, and technological innovation. So in module 1, we cover what that means. We move on and connect to module 2, where we cover strategic options and challenges of enterprise families and challenges of their businesses, their foundations, and their offices. In module 3, that one is about the different forms of family capital and the issues around dynamics, family dynamics, communication, building personal networks, and conflict management, which smoothly flows over into module 4, where we engage the participants to explore different governance principles and ownership models. We talk about best practices and trends. And then module 5, wealth, purpose, investments, those are topics that cannot be left out. And in module 6, we wrap up the program because this is about creativity and adaptability and resilience building. And as you can see, so this is from left to right, from top to bottom, we have about 60% of the program is about knowledge sharing, but about 20% of the program is about skill building. And another 20% is about creating the connections you may need and you will need in the rest of your career, role, or life as an enterprise family member. I'd like to invite Sarah to talk about our next slide, which is the first component, which is about knowledge. In that, Miguel, can you move to slide number? The next slide, and Sarah, could you unmute yourself and share with us your insights?
Good morning, everyone. I'm sure, looking at Martin's chart, that the question that's on your mind is, wow, this looks like a lot of work. Is this going to be worth my time? And I believe that the impact of participating in this will be that you will be a more perceptive owner and better able to engage with your siblings and cousins as you look at the challenges of co-ownership and co-leadership of an enterprise. As Martin said, a core component of the program is sharing knowledge. And we do this for you by primarily giving you a framework to think about a particular concept, and typically several case studies to look at. There are many generational differences among families, depending on the stage where they are on their journey. And what is right for a second generation family is not the same type of solution that's going to work for a fourth generation family. And we talk with you about those differences so you can see where the possibilities are. We try to give you broad perspectives on all the alternatives, maybe 3 different ways that a family solved a problem, to help you understand the spectrum and pick the solution that you might be interested in. If we can look at the next slide, just a little bit more about some of the specific content that's going to be covered. We're going to talk certainly about these generational differences and transitions and succession in families, but it varies with where you are on your enterprise journey as to how what you may be challenged by and what the alternatives are. For strategies for success, we will share with you the 30 best practices of a well-run family enterprise that have been gathered over the last 30 years from hundreds of family groups who have made the evolution from a business-centric family to an enterprise-centric family. We'll focus on the difference between ownership and stewardship. We'll talk about family offices and how the role that they play in the family enterprise and how sometimes they actually evolve to be enterprise offices instead of just family offices. Where we can bring together investment principles, we will touch on those in the wealth preservation section. This is not an investment course. This is more about how all the parts fit together in your family enterprise and how you strategically allocate capital and resources in the family to the different priorities that family groups may have. And now I'm going to turn over to Mindy, who's going to talk about the skills section.
Thank you, Sarah. Martin mentioned that about 20% of the program is focused on skill building. And that knowledge that Sarah was talking about, while really, really important, is only important when you're able to apply it, which is why this program places such an importance on that skill building element. It's the combination of the knowledge, the skills, and the connection that becomes this really powerful education trifecta. It's that practical application to your particular situation, the skills to apply that knowledge. In the next slide here, I'll kind of talk about some of those example skills that you can take away from the program. What we know from our years of working with Rising Gen, Sarah and I specifically at our Rising Gen leadership program at Fox, is that when polling the rising generation, the #1 requested skill is a combination of negotiating skills, conflict resolution, consensus building, And that will serve you well working with your families and in your careers. So that's really an important element, one of the top skills to take away. Additionally, we'll skill build on areas focused on partnering with advisors, successful networking. Just as important as the technical skills are the qualitative skills. So we'll explore family identity and the importance of personal branding. And lastly, we'll do work together on scenario planning. Of course, these will all be done through the classwork, the exercises, the case studies, and that applied learning. Miguel.
Thank you, Mindy. So in addition to the intellectual capital or being developed through the knowledge area or the knowledge leg, and the human capital or cultural capital or behaviors that are going to be learned through the skills leg, the third leg that makes the program very unique is the connections leg, right? We think that developing relational capital will be key in order for you to get experience from others, to broaden your view on life, and to basically enlarge your network in order to be better prepared to resolve complex situations going into the future. So yes, connections are a big part, as mentioned, of the ROEF program. These are a couple of examples about connections. We're talking about connections with your peers, all of which are from other enterprise families from around the world. Talking about connections with the faculty, obviously, we'll go a little bit deeper into the faculty experience in a minute. And of course, a lot of connections with visiting experts and guest speakers. What are some examples of these experts and guest speakers? Here you have a few of them with no names, but you may probably guess some of them who they are. They're all part of the VU and the Fox ecosystems, and we are talking about a wide range of topics, right? From talking about the future with an astronaut to talking about the changing world order with investment experts, very known experts, special forces about decision-making, branding, communication, innovation, legacy, philanthropy, leadership, all the key topics that are very trendy, that are also strategic and relevant in order to to have a full holistic development journey, as mentioned. What can you expect during a module? Well, as mentioned, this is a very holistic program, so you can expect basically a mix of things. First of all, as mentioned initially in the video, there's going to be 6 modules during the whole program. There's going to be 3 per year. We're talking about March, June, and November. Each module takes 2.5 days. They always start on Thursday, and they go all the way through the first half of the Saturday. There might be informal dinners taking place on Wednesday. All of the program takes place in Amsterdam, so it's a in-phase program. We are going to talk a little bit more about the venue and about Amsterdam in a minute. And regarding the sessions, you can obviously expect, as mentioned, a mix of lectures, simulations or role plays, sessions with guests or experts, a lot of time with your body. There's also going to be a lot of coaching sessions with the coaches. All of the faculty members are also going to be coaches, and we pride ourselves in making this connection. There's going to be an individual coaching plan to get you where you need to, and you may tap into this coaching expertise at any time, but preferably in person while we are physically in Amsterdam. We are also going to visit cool local companies working on projects, like electric cars, the environment, social equity, or other global issues. And in addition, going to couple that with fun activities, group activities, from cooking to other cultural visits to museums or other relevant institutions. So Amsterdam is going to be one of the key ingredients of this whole experience. Who can you expect to meet at the room? Participants are going to be aged 25 to 45. All of them are going to be from enterprise families. No advisors whatsoever. I know many of you are advisors attending this call on behalf of family members. The program is indeed for family members. We are talking about family members with a previous degree, 26 members in total maximum. Obviously, you need an even number because we are talking about the body system, which is 2 people. And it's going to be very global, as you can see from this small sample of participants. Very, very global. We have in this call, but also already interested participants from Latin America, from North America, from Europe, and from Africa. So very, very proud to see that this is a very global program. For the faculty bios, I'm going to turn it over to Martin to start with.
Thank you, Miguel, Sarah, and Mindy. So let me introduce to you the faculty of ROEF Academy and kick off by sharing some of my own background. I've been working with enterprise families most of my career, first as analyst and strategist, then as an entrepreneur, building one of the largest multifamily offices in Europe. And following the sale of my business to UBS Bank, I served on the board of several ultra high net worth enterprise families and on the board of their businesses. I founded the VU Center for Enterprise Family Research, and I'm visiting professor in resilient family business at VU Amsterdam, and I'm excited to be part of this program. Miguel, can I ask you to present yourself?
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Martin. I'm also a co-director of the ROEF program. I have been involved with family business all of my life, starting obviously from the fact of being part of an enterprise family. Our enterprise family is in the pharma industry with operations mainly in Europe and Latin America. I have also served families and enterprise families from the perspective of consulting at Bain, invested with them through private equity. And I also worked in financial issues while at UBS, working for families both in corporate finance and in wealth management. This was for over 15 years. I was also the head of a family office for one of Spain's leading families for state. They own around 20 shopping malls around Europe. And we did a lot of things connected to education. I've also done a lot of education for next-gen members, basically focusing on the issues of purpose, networking, and employment. And since early 2017, I've been working as international market leader at Fox. I think we should continue with Sarah and Mindy, and then we're going to present a video of Lotte because she could not join us. So Sarah, welcome.
Hello again. I am the founder of Family Office Exchange, which was created in 1989. We'll hear a little bit more about that in a few minutes. I've spent a good bit of my personal time counseling families who are part of the Fox network, who are working their way through unique family succession planning or transitions that were unexpected for the family. So I think what value I bring to the table is a very broad base of exposure to international families who've done things very different ways, and the ability to help you think through what the alternatives are that can help you get your family unstuck. Sometimes that is the challenge that you find you're facing, is something is impeding the family and it's not able to move forward. And we have some techniques that you can use for that process. Mindy?
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you very much.
Honored to be part of this esteemed group and really excited to be part of the program. I work with Sarah at Fox at Family Office Exchange. My work focuses specifically on family learning and rising generation engagement. In my past, I worked in 2 different single family offices, one very large enterprise family into the 4th generation with over 100 employees in the family office. And I've worked at a very small single family office embedded at an operating company working on shareholder education, family office sophistication. So I have deep experience working in 2 different offices at very different ends of the data point. And at Fox, I'm able to bring those two disparate points together and work with families along every point on that spectrum, spending time running programs for our Rising Gen community, advocating and doing research on behalf of the Rising Gen group, as well as family learning consulting and anything under that umbrella of family cohesion and family learning.
Thank you, Mindy.
Thank you, Mindy.
And Miguel, you will start up the little video for from Lotte Glaser. She's a colleague of mine. She's associate professor at the VU as well, but also she has been working for over a decade with the Brenningmeier family, one of the most prestigious enterprise families in Europe, actually, to raise responsible enterprise family members. Miguel, are you able to share the video?
Yes.
Thank you.
Can you all see it?
Via this little video, I wanted to shortly introduce myself. My name is Lotte Glaser. I've been working for more than 8 years now for enterprise family business, mainly in a function of coach, but also supporting next generation leaders in becoming responsible owners. Next to that, I'm also an associate professor at the university, specialized in the topic on corporate entrepreneurship. I'm really looking forward meeting you all in the ROEF program, and with this, I will hand back over to Marta, Michael, Sarah, and my other colleagues. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful day.
Thank you. Well, let's now move to the city of Amsterdam, the city I was born in, raised, educated, lived, and worked for a large part of my life, and the city where we are going to host the program, because Amsterdam is known for its beautiful canals and architecture and its nightlife. But apart from its deep culture and high standard of living, Amsterdam is clean, safe, tolerant, and diverse. So we welcome you to Amsterdam. It's officially actually the 5th best city in the world to live, although only 1 million people live in Amsterdam. But out of those 1 million people, more than 180 different nationalities live, work, and study in Amsterdam. It's one of the 10 most diverse and multicultural cities around the world. So we're very proud to be able to host our program in Amsterdam at VU University in Miguel, can you switch to the next slide? On the top left-hand side of this, thank you, Miguel. In the top left picture on your page in front of you, you see the big glass windows in this building. This is one of the faculty in Amsterdam, and that's that glass window. That's the penthouse where we will have our classes. And the other pictures show what's basically in those classes. The VU in Amsterdam is ranked among the world's top universities for teaching and research, and it has a very strong profile on societal impact. It's highly multicultural. In a city with 145 different nationalities, many of those are also studying at university or teaching at university. It's the most sustainable university in the Netherlands, and it actually contributes to all 17 UN Sustainable Development Goals. We're all proud of this. And the motto here at VU is, you don't just become someone at VU, but you become, you don't become something at VU, like a lawyer or a dentist, but you can become someone. I think I gave away the punchline. But let me ask Sarah to elaborate on Family Office Exchange, this highly reputable organization.
Well, I'll be very brief because we want to hear what your questions are in just a few minutes. So you know a lot more about the program. Family Office Exchange is a global network for about 450 members who in 26 countries who are focused on thoughtful and intentional planning for their family enterprise and their family office. We have a staff of 50 people, primarily based in the US. Miguel is based in Madrid, and we strive to help families have an impact with their private capital, however you may define that within your family and its parameters. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. Some of the quick questions are what to expect in between modules. And basically, in between modules, there's not going to be a huge emphasis other than some pre-reading required, but we don't expect that there will be exams. The bulk of the program will take place during the time you are meeting in Amsterdam. We also encourage participants to make use of the coaching sessions, the coaching possibility. The alternative is to do the coaching during the program itself, during the meeting in Amsterdam, and obviously as well we encourage people to just make use of the connections with the bodies or with the other people in the network, right? The classmates, the faculty, the experts, and to work on your development journey, because in addition to the title or the certification, it's really the development journey that you will stay with, right? That will make a difference in your life and in your family. These are the dates set forth for the coming 6 modules for the program that starts, as you know, in March of this year. As mentioned, the modules take place in March, June, and November of each year, 2.5 days from Thursday to Saturday, but with an informal dinner on Wednesday evening, as mentioned before. What does the application process look like? The application process is essentially you need to apply through the website. There is a tab named Join before January 31st. And then you will have an interview with us where we will go into questions such as, your background, the family you're part of, the generation you're part of, what's your previous experience, what is your current role, if at all, and what is your desired role, if at all. What is your biggest challenge as a member of the Rising Gen, and what do you specifically hope to achieve in order to make this development plan a little more, clear and customized for you. We will get back to you within the following 2 weeks, and the program would start, as mentioned, in mid-March.
We do these cohorts so that these interviews with you, so we have the ability to put you in a cohort group of families who are dealing with similar issues or are in the similar place on their journey. So they're very helpful to us. We're not screening you for whether or not you get to come. We're really trying to know enough about your situation that we can match you up so that when you're together, your time is really well spent.
Indeed. So I want to turn it over to Martin to lead the Q&A.
Well, this is the end of our formal presentation.